Welcome, connoisseurs of fine common cardboard, to today's evening live stream and to our huge announcement. Oh no, are we not coming through clear? Check, check, check. I think everybody else can hear me there. Oh, you can't hear me because
So maybe it's...
There we go. Now you can hear me.
Yes.
Bingo. Clay couldn't hear me, but everybody else could hear me. Brief technical malfunction there, but connoisseurs of fine common cardboard, welcome to the evening stream today. We're so glad to have you. I've got Clay here with me, my wonderful co-host here, and we've got some really exciting stuff. Some things that you may have noticed. Some people sussed out the changes in the Discord. You may see the iconography, the beautiful things that we've got going here. So we have made a shift in our approach, and we have a new identity, a new brand, and Clay and I are really excited to share about it with you. So Clay, tell them a little bit about what we've got going here.
So what's changing, or what has changed? Like Ryan had said earlier, some of the things have been kind of slow rolled over the last couple of days. If you've been paying attention to Twitter profiles, that sort of thing, we've been slowly inserting the differences, the changes in those zones. Ryan going full on hard into giggity, full into the Common Connoisseurs deal, and then especially on Twitter, I'm bifurcated between my little logo and my big banner and that sort of thing. So the elephant in the room, and not the PDH pals. Love you guys, but not you guys.
The other elephant.
So, the other elephant. So the tryhards. So I will admit that when Ryan brought this concept up to me, I had a virulent reaction to it. The tryhards was a huge part of my identity in the space and all of that. And then what that really made me do was kind of focus in on why. So when I looked at what I thought the tryhards was and should be, I thought of it, and the way we always explained it was Cobra Kai, right? So you had this group of people focused on this mantra who were honing fighters, sending fighters out to battle, and all of that stuff. Where that was particularly useful is in the tryhards' existence in the CDH space. We were the fringe deck players. We were the ones trying non-mainstream ideas and lists and all that stuff. And then as I transitioned into away from CDH and into CPDH, Competitive Pauper Commander, as that happened, the CEDH identity kind of fell away, but we were still doing that dojo kind of aspect where we were fighting against certain ideals and that sort of thing, and it made sense. Everyone who was coming to the online meta, who was drawn to us, was drawn to the tryhards because we were the fighters, we were the dojo, we were the kick-ass. Now, where that has changed, and probably the main reason for the moving away from my end anyway, moving away from the tryhards as a community, as a brand, that sort of thing. New York in the chat. So the main reason for that is because we have metas all over the place. So the tryhards, wasn't just a dojo where we were training fighters and sending them out into the world. It was actually the server became a place where people were coming to share ideas. So it only made sense at that point in time that the transition had already happened. We were just behind.
Yeah.
So Ryan's perspective was to change the server to reflect the brand on the YouTube, so that way you had a unilateral connection between both entities, because inside the server you're going to be directed to the YouTube. On the YouTube you're going to be directed in the server.
Yeah.
So it just
one and the same entity. One of the things that we talked about, and actually going back to when you and I started working together, one of the things that we knew is that over time it became clear that we had a really good working relationship, that we had really similar shared values, and that ultimately we wanted the same thing, which was to work together, to make content, to build a community, to create an incredible space for people to play the best format of Magic that I've found so far. And when we were going through that, the only sticking point that we came to was the name. And, you had this existing entity, and I had an existing entity, which was the Bellingham server, and there were some 200 people in there, and I had spent a lot of time working on my own kind of branding with people there, because we had aspirations at one point in Bellingham to be making our own content as well, and we went really far down that chain of doing that. So kind of we were in similar development stages where, like, I had a server, you had a server, there was a lot of cross-pollination between the two where my people were coming over to yours. And so the genius thing that happened, or the big break, was when you came to me and said, we should just start working together, and let's just take the names and smush them together. So at the time it was the Common Connoisseurs for me, and for you it was the Tryhards, and that worked great for our ramp up phase, right? It was a fantastic approach that got us working together, and it was like, the main thing was like, let's not work together if the issue is simply like that we need to decide on a common name. And so we said, let's just go for it, we'll do it, we'll just smush them together. And then the way that we justified that was that the Tryhards content would be anything that was video based, that was like gameplay based. Yeah, video gameplay, recording, things like that. Because it was like the Tryhards, it's like the dojo, it's like everybody practicing. And then the Common Connoisseurs was like a playlist, and the Tryhards was a playlist of that channel, where the Common Connoisseurs was like sitting around talking about things, or building the decks, or strategy, interviews, things like that. And that actually worked really well. Like, I was surprised at how well that worked. But over time, I think particularly from a design element, but also just from like a core branding and marketing element, it became clear that there was a need for conformity and to unify into one name. And so that's kind of how we got to this idea. And the idea being that we are all connoisseurs of fine common cardboard. That this name isn't that you and I, Clay, of course, and we know this, but that you and I aren't the only common connoisseurs. It's that everybody is included in that. Everybody can relate to that idea of like being in this format and playing this format. You find yourself becoming really knowledgeable about cards that people might not otherwise know, like those value bulk bin buys that nobody else would recognize when you're skimming through your binder and you're like, ooh, is that a dust to dust? Is that a righteous aura? And that means you're a connoisseur of fine common cardboard. And so we ended up landing here, and it's super exciting, because what ended up happening was we ended up doing some logo design stuff. We reached out to somebody on Fiverr, or you did, and we arrived at a logo that you and I have both fallen in love with here. We are so excited about this right now, and so what you see is like two nestled C's in there, and for the common connoisseurs, and then the idea, the tongue-in-cheek inside joke here that we all want to share with you is this idea of having you're like a connoisseur of smoking your cigar, drinking your whiskey, chatting about these lofty concepts of Pauper Commander, and you're a connoisseur of cards that cost you like 15 cents. And I think that tongue-in-cheek, self-depreciating inside joke is what we were going for, and we hope that you all share and appreciate in kind of what we were going for with this idea. So now what comes along with that, and the reason why some of the other things took so long, is that we wanted to release all of the different elements cohesively. So certain elements we were able to introduce over time, like we introduced the Patreon, and we, giving you all a way to support the community, to encourage more of this kind of content. But there were other elements of it that had to come once we had a new logo, once we had a unified logo, and we have that now. So, without further ado, let's bring us into this here. This, if we bring it into this right here. So here is the logo that we're working with. It looks like my GoPro is over the top of it. Ooh, we lost Ryan. Let's see, go scene 2. Bring that over.
Are you showcasing the item?
No, just the logo enlarged here. I just realized that in the scene, my webcam had gone away. Basically, what happened, chat, was my GoPro ran out of battery, and GoPros are finicky that way. You can only have them charged and/or streaming, one or the other, at any given time. You can't do both.
Boo, down with
Boo
GoPro.
hiss. Yeah, boo hiss. So
Sorry,
anyways,
3 days, buddy. 3 days.
I know we're gonna get it fixed. It's so funny. The video quality on it is just like so insane comparatively. But it is. There we go. Cool. Yeah, we're all fixed. But basically, this is the logo we arrived at here. And what this is going to bring along with it is a whole bunch of new stuff. Namely, we have our new and updated Patreon with all of the information here. We have 6 different levels for people who are interested in supporting the channel. And the reason that we went with Patreon ultimately, as opposed to just YouTube, we were very excited about YouTube at first because we thought it would bring everybody under, our content would be in the same places where people could support us. What we ultimately found was that they only allow for a certain number of tiers, which felt to us like it didn't give us room to grow to, into people who might have a lot more disposable income, who might want to support us, while also providing a really thorough set of options at a lower price point for people who just want to show their appreciation for the channel but don't have a ton of money. We didn't want to limit this or make it exclusive to those things. Yo, what's up, Islane? And so we ended up going with Patreon because you can have as many tiers as you want, but YouTube only limited us to 4. Discord limits you to 3. We will have an option for Discord membership that will include some of our highlights, maybe like the $2 level, maybe like 10 and then maybe 25. But you can see we have a whole bunch of great things. This is the one that we're encouraging folks who are able to do it to do. Includes a member shout out, exclusive Discord channel, and we're actually going to be shifting this exclusive Discord channel to these tiers as well. I just haven't updated that. Early access to our videos that are recorded and edited. And then you also get to vote on the Let's Build video series. So if you want to be involved in having a choice in what kind of decks we build and stream together, that's the way we're gonna do that. And then we're also gonna hand out to people an exclusive Moxfield playtest template, which is basically a template that you upload into your OBS, and then it organizes all of your content so that you can play Moxfield playtest just like that. All you need to do is add the windows in. But this is where it gets really exciting, and Clay did a ton of work on this. Look at this. We have an official Common Connoisseurs playmat. The first of our products. Clay, you spearheaded the project on this.
Yeah.
Take a look at this spicy.
Never mind the description.
Yeah, don't mind the description. They haven't updated that. That's on their end. But look at this. Look at this. Oh, it's so crispy. I can't wait for mine to arrive.
We were hoping to showcase them, on the video live tonight, but they have since changed their shipping times. So, yeah. So, we're not going to showcase it. But there will be a signature series special edition.
Ooh. Should I just show them? Should I just show them what it looks like?
Yeah, it's only got your signature on it though.
It's only got my signature on it, but let me see if I can pull up the. Let's see. Pull this up. So this is for the banner for the playmat. There we go. So we're gonna have a Steel Series logo because I was messing around in Discord, in Canva, and something happened that caused it to look like metallic and steel. Where is it? This is the V1. Oh, I need the V2, which is under.
That's V1.
V1. Where did the? So is it under rebrand thumbnail then? Ah, yes. This is it. This is going to be the Steel Series that we're going to have as well. This will be either for top-end patrons, or maybe it'll be for the first patrons. Maybe the first patrons will have access to purchasing this one, the first 10, of which Noyark is one of them. So those folks will have access to an exclusive Steel Series that'll have our logos on it. Clay's will be right here as well. So anyways, we're really excited. We've put a ton of work into this stuff, and we're excited to share this new product with you. So it's really affordable. $25 is like great for a playmat, very standard. And we think that it's a super premium product here by Inked Gaming.
And you're supporting the channel.
And it's a great way to support the channel. Yeah. Now, what comes along with that too, we're going to be working to get some sponsors here pretty soon. And one of those that I'm going to be working on here soon is a sponsorship through Sunski, which makes blue light glasses for when you're using the screen. So for those of you who spend a lot of time on the computer, blue light significantly impairs your sleep. If it's done 3 hours before you go to sleep. So if you're one of those people that maybe stays up till 11:30 before you go to sleep and you're on the computer or you're on your cell phone or you want to watch something before bed, the glasses that we're going to be showcasing as part of our product suite are going to be great for minimizing the impact of that on your sleep and also making sure that you reduce your eye strain. Did they come up?
So we got a new Patreon right now.
A new patron?
Yeah.
Who's the new patron?
Ian Fay.
Ian Fay? Ian Fay? Chad? Connoisseur of Fine Common Cardboard? Let's see. Who did you just come in at? Ian Fay.
My phone made the jingle thing, and I'm like, oh.
Ian, thank you so much for your support. It's so glad to have you as a member. We're going to get you added to that special part of the Discord. I'd like to show the Discord. This is the special section, but it'll kill Clay's image. So
hide the emails.
Oh yeah, exactly. We don't want to give away anybody's email addresses. That's right. Yeah, sorry about that. Still a noob at this, but Ian Fay, thank you so much for your support, and we're going to be adding you to that exclusive part of the Discord. Part of that will have that some of the builds that I work on that I might not be ready to share with people just yet. That's one of the places where I'm posting that material. Clay is too. Other members have also been posting things in there where you're getting access to some pretty exclusive, maybe cutting edge stuff that people might be posting that you might not otherwise see in the other Discord. So. Docs. Email me. He says,
"Sorry, New York."
Yeah, you've been officially doxed. I'm sorry about that for everyone. I had to see who the patron was and didn't think that through. So, anyways, this is our Patreon here. Clay and I also have now created LINKTREEs as well, which for folks, and this isn't so much for the.
This is a good segue too.
Yeah. Where basically, people who are interested in learning more about the stuff, it's just going to be / Papa Popper, and then for Clay, it's going to be Tryhard Clay, I believe. Is that what you've got?
Tryhard Clay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, some elements, like for example, I still will wear my OG Tryhard.
Oh yeah,
zip up hoodie. Yeah,
you got it.
Some elements of the Tryhards are still going to be existing. It's not a meme. It's a What's it? The historical reference. It's a
of course.
Points of pride.
Yeah, we're harking back to the fact that the origins of this do go back to a server that long before I was here, it was very successful and had a place in the CDH community, and then eventually pushed forward into really new and awesome territory with Pauper Commander, and now this server has grown to become the largest competitive Pauper Commander server in the world. And that is huge. All of you, just by being part of the server,
almost 500 members at this point.
Yeah, we are rapidly approaching 500 members in the server, and what that means is that every one of you who's a part of this has access to all of those people to play games at any time of the day on Spell Table or on Moxfield Playtest with people from all over the world. We've got Jonathan from Australia, we've got Giorgio Dalmaso from Italy, we've got people from Brazil, we've got people from all over the United States, we've got people from Japan. It's crazy, and so it's a really, really exciting time to be a part of this, and we're just pumped to share it with you. Another thing that's just happened, and we've been making investments to really improve this experience for everybody, and one of those is that I recently upgraded my studio setup. So this is where I'm sitting right now. You can see I'm adding sound baffling to the walls to improve the mic quality. Clay has acquired a new webcam for, I think, recently for yourself and also for myself. And we're just really, really excited to continue to push forward into new ground with CPDH. We're going to have a bunch Oh, am I getting double mic stuff right now? I think I am.
No, you're good.
No, I think
Well,
everybody else might have been getting it. Sorry about that if it was. I've got the two webcams going in it, and it looks like it may have been picking up double audio. So if this is, hopefully that wasn't too bad. Maybe Noyark, if you can let me know. I was.
oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It thought it was an echo.
all good now. Yeah.
All good now. Ah. Well, this is, as you all know, Clay and I have taught ourselves how to do this from scratch. All this stuff is completely self-taught. So when we run
We're
into
experts.
we're experts, not. But basically, like a lot of those things that we run into like that, you can still understand. Okay, that's great. Yeah. So basically, what I had to do today is I realized that with the brand change, that we had to have new scenes that had the same colors and everything. So I had to remake everything. And then when I added that, you get little things in between. So anyways, appreciate your patience. And in the future, if there's an audio weird thing like that or something that isn't coming through, let me know and I can go and fix that pretty quickly. So anyways, so yeah, we're making improvements. By the way, the funny thing is all the sound baffling. My new job has me picking up recyclables from people. And this guy wanted us to pick this up, and we don't because it's foam and it doesn't fall under our categories. But I said, well, how much foam do you have and what kind? And he said, well, it's kind of like sound baffling material. And I was like, show me. So I went and I got a garbage bag full of this stuff and set it up all on the walls and everything. So yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. So we got a couple things here. Islaine says, I'm currently building a new PC while watching, so totally understand. Yeah, Islaine, you do tons of audio and video content as well under your channel, so you totally understand how that goes when things just don't work the way they were intended. So, so anyways, that is what we've got. Content from here on out, as you've probably noticed, will be on Fridays. And depending on what job I get after this one, or whether I stick with this one, or whether or not, that will always change the schedule. But in those times, it will be consistent through that. So right now it's on Fridays. Fridays at 6 o'clock. We're going to be live. Those will be our Let's Brew days. And then if you've subscribed and hit notification bell on the channel, you'll get informed of when we have special live streams that aren't on the calendar.
And there's also an opportunity here. We've always been wanting to find a way to bring back recorded gameplay, edited gameplay. I think we're having an opportunity to do so in the future now, but what that means is getting together some folks on the weekends. I've spoke to the commander of the house, the wife, and she has allowed me to play, dedicate Sundays to gameplay and all that stuff in the community. So for the foreseeable future, I will be holed up in the server, playing on Sundays. I hope to record some games there and engage in some editing and stuff like that. Of course, that means I got to find myself a video editor again.
Yep. Well, find yourselves a video editor, or the other option. This is as you all know, ChatGPT is kind of a big deal, and I think the step forward might be
AI.
because the problem, chat, that we're running into is that video editing is, several of you have done this before. Video editing is incredibly time consuming, and especially during these early stages where our efforts aren't paying, they're not paying the bills, right? We're essentially, this is like a passion project, and it's something that we care about enough that we do it anyways, right? It's important to us. We enjoy it. We love it.
Time and treasure and all of that stuff.
Oh yeah, tons. I mean, all this setup here, to make all this happen. And one of the ways that that it's very easy to get sucked into doing way too much work is through the editing. I tried it a little bit, and I've got a video editing background, and it was 6 hours in, wasn't even done with a video, and it was very clear to me that was going to be a huge waste of time. So one thing we're going to be looking to do is to produce more recorded content that is edited for briefer consumption. We got a lot of positive feedback on the longer form stuff because some people really like that, but sometimes I don't have time for that either. Sometimes I just want 20 minutes, bang, 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 of rapidly edited stuff. So we're going to be looking for software that does what's called auto jump cutting. So jump cuts are when it breaks between audio. So
Mhm.
when there's audio and when there isn't, it cuts those blanks out, and then it gives you a little bit of buffer depending on what you do. So we're going to be looking for some sort of software or AI that can do that for us, because it's not sustainable for Clay or I to do that, and financially, even paying a video editor, not so much either. So,
Mhm.
um, so yeah,
Thank you
if
for thank you for being concerned about my wallet.
absolutely, yeah, and ultimately the goal is to make this a financially sustainable venture that
Yeah.
at least just covers our costs, just so that we
Mm.
feel like there's a like we're going where somewhere with it,
Mhm.
and so yeah,
So I think
yeah,
the one last thing to cover is dot guide.
yeah. Shall we pull that up here?
Yeah.
Um,
So okay. So historically, the dot guide efforts was co-joined with the Tryhard server, and basically, all of the efforts allocated to the metagame collection, data collection, and all of that stuff was wrought out of games in the Tryhard server, which still will be a contributing factor, right? But as I mentioned earlier, as the metagame within the tryhards became less of a dojo focused initiative to building up fighters and singing them out, and having people actually coming into the server from all these physical locations where these in-person metas are actually happening, it just made sense to migrate the plus, I mean, the associated content and all that stuff was uh felt tonally different than what was being offered on the connoisseurs, tryhards, and all that stuff. So, segregating it out, it's still going to be a venture that Ryan participates in, but I will run. Puzzle, who's in chat, is going to be helping me do some of the back end stuff there as well. And it's just we've got a new server set up for the dot guide server. In fact, you can see the link down there at the bottom. Its very own YouTube channel. It has one video at the moment, and that's the one on the four archetypes. Meant to stir the pot, because that's what Clay does. Is Clay stirs the pot. I want to get people thinking, that sort of thing. So yeah, so moving forward, the dot guide content will be more of a drier, facts, data, all that stuff, which is completely tonally different than what is going to be produced on the connoisseurs. Connoisseurs is supposed to be cheeky and fun, and we can do some deep dives and stuff like that, but by and large, I mean, it's just two different things. So I just
yep. Yeah. Yeah, this is a really cool thing, because ultimately what you and I, and this is also part of this process too, where we were dissembling like what was going to be, the identity of the things, and ultimately what we realized was that the the place where people might report data or where they might land would be more like maybe Moxfield's Discord server versus like a channel. And we didn't want to make the common connoisseurs the channel necessarily for the format, if that makes sense. And
mm,
thinking about CPDH as a subformat of PDH in a sense, or competitive
meta,
propaganda,
meta,
being
a meta.
it's a meta in a sense, and so keeping those things separate was why we have the CPDH.guide. It allows you to brand everything in a really consistent way with like, this is the page for competitive Pauper Commander versus this is the page for the channel and the community of the common connoisseurs.
Yeah, the common connoisseurs, the tryhards, the
Yep.
yeah. So it was like all of the stuff combined. So basically, the last 2 months was sussing all of that out
Yeah.
to see what made sense, and this is kind of the way that worked. Now that said, the team. The team for the connoisseurs and all that stuff is pretty much set. Puzzle and I have been talking in the backgrounds about fleshing out a little bit of support options for the dot guide thing, but that's for now another channel. So
Yeah. Let me see if I can show. I want to show folks the Discord thing. I don't.
uh-huh.
We are gonna lose you briefly here, but I want to show people
Yeah.
what it is that we're that they're getting access to by becoming a supporter here. So this is the supporter section of the Discord. and you'll see that that I've laid out a couple of different areas. One of them is the deck lists. When you go in here, it's going to be really, really nicely organized and curated to make sure that it's clean and easy to navigate. There's guidelines for how to post everything to. And then what we also have is a section here I'm calling human advancement. And I basically spend all day listening to podcasts and driving a vehicle. And I get to listen to a lot of amazing podcasts. And so I've been sharing stuff that I read either through books or stuff that I hear through podcasts here about just how to become a better person and also how to live a healthier life. And I'm really excited to share that with you all because one of my aspirations through, playing, playing Magic and being exposed to these like community building elements is that I think that there's a huge opportunity for people in these nerdy communities to adopt really healthy lifestyles. And so this is some of the stuff. There's stuff on sleep. There's stuff on productivity. There's stuff on contentedness or happiness. There's things on waking up in the morning. And so this is one of the things you get there. And then supporters are also getting early access to content that we produce that is edited and recorded. So yeah, and then we also have a content creators corner, which is where we talk about how to build your channel and how to make your channel better. Because one of the other things that Clay and I really aspire towards,
Yes.
and this is something that we got to talk about as well, is both Clay and I are really excited about the idea of using the connoisseurs as an incubator for
developing content creation, like helping, because it's a daunting task for people who want to make content, to how do you get started, what tools are available, that sort of thing. So Ryan and I firmly believe that a rising tide raises all boats, right? So
Yeah.
there's no secret sauce. There's no, paywall for, well, I mean, I guess there is a little bit of a paywall, but there is no like hidden gem, information. Like you're basically getting for your money, you're getting the synthesis of our collective experiences and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really cool place to be discussing that stuff. And like right now we just happen to be, and we just happen to be on like this sort of cutting edge of YouTube Live. That's one of the things that's gotten a lot of hype
Yes.
lately. It's really kind of like accidental that we like got in the game.
He says accidental. I say on purpose. I pushed him this way.
Well, yeah, it's accidental, the timing. Like we were very intentional about going towards YouTube Live. Like the first time I did YouTube Live, I was like, oh, I like this. I'm good at this. This is fun. And it's easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I never looked back. But what's accidental is the timing of us being on this like wave that's cresting of people starting YouTube Live and not Twitch. And so if you want to learn more about that, if you want to learn some of the creative elements that I do, the visual design, the OBS type stuff, that's a really great place to do it. And I'm going to be posting stuff that I learn about how to grow this channel in that supporters Discord area. So yeah, if you're interested in diving into that, or if you're making your own channel and you become a supporter, you'll have access to that information as well. So,
yep.
So anyways, I don't know if there's a whole lot more to cover here. We covered everything we want. If you all have any questions, you've got us here for a little bit. We can chat and let us know what you're thinking. Provide us your feedback if there's anything that's come up here.
I'm all about short and sweet too. So.
Yeah, we don't need to stretch on any longer here, but yeah. So we had one more.
It's an exciting time.
Yeah, God, we're so fucking.
Looking at the last 2 years, the CPDH meta, I cannot believe, like, for some of the OGs in the chat that have been here for that long, it was crazy. People, I mean, if they were in the same physical location, it would have been knocked down, drag out, right? So like fights and all that stuff about what competitive Pauper Commander was supposed to look like, what it should look like, all of that. And I mean, tempers flaring and people getting upset, and even some bitterness that extends to this day.
Yeah.
And then Ryan and I made a choice, and we just started like screw it, I'm just going to do it this
Yep.
way.
Yep.
And we started, you know, building out a community, building out a culture.
Yeah.
If anything from the tryhards that lives on, it's the culture of the community.
Yeah.
That hasn't changed. And it's because we recognized early on that it's not about us.
No.
It's not about any one particular player.
It's not
This
about any
whole
one deck.
yeah, this whole hype train that the CEDH community is like murdering themselves on about clout and all that
Addicted
stuff.
to in some ways. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, this isn't that space.
No.
We are about we in fact we have actively shut people down
Yeah.
seeking to farm clout out of the CPDH
Yeah.
community.
It's about getting in, getting your games in, having great people that you like to spend time
Doing
with.
the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
being like, and frankly, you know, this extends to some of the stuff that you all may have, you know, heard about just recently on Twitter, but, you know, creating like a safe environment for everybody to enjoy this format and to make friends and to play games.
Mhm.
And that's really what we're focusing on. It's going to be great content. It's going to be great people. It's going to be a great space to just enjoy. And that's really like, that's the core of what we're going to be, what we've been doing, but really what we're going to continue to focus on moving forward. So,
And
it's,
one of the things that we're going to do better on, not that we were doing extremely poorly, but the things that we're going to do better on is in this era of in-person metas, we're going to do our damnedest to highlight like our South Florida folks, you know, who are putting in the time down there in the Miami area and all that stuff. Our Philly folks, our folks in the greater New York area, Ryan's Bellingham meta, you know, all of these places are listed on the .guide server as individual locations that people participate. And that's to help highlight that tech that's being developed in those in-person metas, because we realize, like, you know, the server, the Common Connoisseur server, that's the first time I've actually said that whole thing. The Common Connoisseur server is not the end-all be-all meta. We know that. We absolutely know that. We just hope to be
it's a springboard,
like
right?
a melting pot.
Yeah, it's a melting pot. That's true. Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating to see like people talking about you know, their metas and what is and isn't there, and it's really, and that's one of the reasons why increasingly like my language has become more and more vague and more context dependent, because in different local metas, different cards are going to be different quality, right? You know, it's just it's a really cool thing that's happening. And a lot of you may, you know, if you're on Twitter, you may have realized that Pauper Commander is getting like so much organic attention right now. You know, we're engaging in conversations with all sorts of people, you know, who have
just this year,
established members of the community. Yeah, I mean, we had Shivam, you know, from the CAG, talking with Derek on a really lengthy video where they just kind of nerded out about all the cool stuff you can do in the format, the great commons, the great uncommon choices. You know, we've had conversations, you know, just, you know, with you, Clay, with different members of the rules committee for Pauper Commander who have become much more visible just in the last year.
I have an interview coming up this month too.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. And, you know, and we're seeing just a lot of people reaching out and saying like, oh, Pauper Commander is a thing. It's like, yeah, it is. And it's like, this is the, you know, this is the place to be doing it. And there's a bunch of other great channels and communities as well for people of different predilections who want to do that. At the PDH Pals making great stuff in the casual scene. We've got the PDH Pod covering more broadly the format. They dabble in all of it, and it's awesome. So
maybe the return of the Hex Drinkers.
I've heard whispers.
I have heard whispers.
If not outright claims that they may be back, which is great. The House of Commons, for those of you who don't know, is a fantastic Pauper Commander podcast. It truly is the chef kiss. They are connoisseurs of fine common cardboard. That is for damn sure. People with both a 60 card and a commander background coming into this space and they've been making great stuff for a long time. They took a break and I think they're going to be coming back soon. So
this is the year. This
is the year.
Yeah.
This is big. Like the momentum feels like it's hit a peak. I was on Twitter logged on, and it was like 39 notifications. It was like, oh my God, there's like 15 people just like reposted this post, from X, Y, and Z about Pauper Commander, and now everybody's flocking to it. So all this is to
So
say,
yeah.
we're just really stoked. We're really stoked that you all are here. For all the people that have supported us either on Patreon or through other forums, big thanks and shout out to you. I do want to shout out some of those supporters, as this is indeed one of the ways that we like to thank our members. We've got, and I'm going to read these off by memory if I can. We've got Kryn Findlin, we've got Brew Bear, Zach, our good friend from Bellingham here. We've got Noyark, our first ever patron, well before everybody else. He was early in on the game.
Yep.
We have, help me out here. We've got a couple more. We've got Aaron, right, who just joined as well.
Here,
We've got,
switch your screen so you can read proper.
yeah, I just don't want to get rid of your picture here. So we'll
We'll
go
just
to,
drag the tab.
oh, uh-oh, what did I do? I broke it, chat. This is what happens. My computer does not like it when I, here, one sec. All right, Clay, we're back. We're back. Can you hear me?
Yep. Okay.
All right, yeah, and we're gonna get the infinite screens there. Give everybody a little nausea. This is the risks of switching up your chat while or switching up your interface. But I want to make sure I get everybody's names out there, because really it's super heartwarming to have you all helping and contributing. So Clay, could you put your video back on?
Oh yes,
You're all good.
please forgive.
You are just fine. I'm gonna go in here and we're gonna find all the people
Look,
that are
I
contributors.
exist.
So where do we go to see that? It's gonna be under members, right?
Yep.
Server settings, and then we'll go to members, and then we'll go to we got to go to roles, right? That's what we actually want. So go to roles, and then we'll go to commoners, right? Yeah, and the members. So yeah, we've got Bobby, who just recently became a member as well. Brew Bear, Jin Shooting Star, who just recently joined, Kryn Findlin, who joined a little bit before them, Noyark, and then our good friend Praxia Mogamesh out of New York. So for all of you who are contributors, thank you so much for everything you do to keep this channel going, and we really appreciate what you do for us. So that it's just, yeah, it's just such a nice feeling to know that people valued this community and this space enough that they wanted to show us some love. So.
And some of those are server boosters. So in the Common Connoisseurs community server, there's a lot of C's in that.
There are.
So we're actively seeking to boost the Discord server, because
so close.
At the highest level we get hella improved video, we get hella improved audio, so that way folks who want to come into once again, the opportunity is there to make content out of the folks in the server, still that try hard spirit, as it were.
Yep.
So yeah, there's an opportunity to pair on to the improved audio and
and actually
video.
let's just show here real quick. I think we are 4 boosts away. Yeah, we're 4 boosts away from getting to level 3, which unlocks some really fancy stuff. Once you get to that level 3 and you reach a certain size in Discord, then you start getting access to beta features like their new home screen tab, and animated banners and animated invites and all this other stuff. So if you have boosts lying around that you haven't used and you are a Nitro user, that is one other way that we can that we can take your support. And it's another way that you get access to our server. If you do end up boosting us, that is also relevant. So now with that, I think I don't have anything else to share here. If nobody else has any questions or comments, I think we're ready to wrap it up. But we're just stoked.
Nice and clean, 45 minutes.
Not bad, not bad. Even with all the technical stuff, it always comes down to that. Onward and upward, though. So yeah, dude, Clay. I'm just stoked to be doing this project with you and to have such a great shared vision and vision for what we're going to do in the future, and to have a great collaborator in this project. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Until the next time. Oh, Sundays. Get your ass in the server. Sundays.
Yep.
Let's play some games.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, with that, connoisseurs of fine common cardboard, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Have a great time, and we'll catch you on the flip side. See you on the battlefield. Peace.